Today we are going to learn one of the most well-known techniques in solving Sudokus, the X-wing technique. The first thing we need to say is that it is not a wing or pivot, as we will see when we talk about other wing techniques, but a fish, like the swordfish technique or the jellyfish or the leviathan. The X-wing technique is applied to only one digit, and is the simplest among the fish techniques, as it is based on a pair of candidates or complementary candidates, and we can find it both in rows and columns. Let's look at an example of each case to understand the technique. In this first example, we will find a row X-wing, and it will allow us to eliminate the analyzed candidates from all the cells in the two columns where the candidates are located. Let's focus on the 8th and on rows 5 and 7. I will color it green to make it clearer. If you notice, in both rows there are only two candidate 8s or complementary candidates, which also coincide in the same columns, 5 and 9. As you see, we only have two possibilities. If here is an 8, this means that there cannot be an 8 here, nor here, so the other 8 must go here. The other possibility is that the 8 goes here, or if the 8 goes here, the 8 cannot go here, so the 8 must go here. In both possibilities, there will be an 8 from those two rows in each of the columns, so we can eliminate the rest of the 8 candidates from those two columns. I color the columns where we can eliminate the rest of the candidates in yellow. And we proceed to eliminate the candidates from those two columns. In this example, we will find a column X-wing, and it will allow us to eliminate the analyzed candidates from the rows they are in. Let's focus on the 6 candidates in columns 2 and 4. I color them green to make them more visible. If you notice, we have two possibilities. If in these columns the 6 go here, in this column the 6 cannot go here, so it should go here. The other possibility is that in this column the 6 goes in this cell, so in this column the 6 could not go in this cell and would have to go here. I don't know in which of these two the 6 will go, but I do know that we can eliminate the candidate 6s from the rest of the cells in these two rows. I color it orange to make it clearer. And I proceed to eliminate the candidates. Now you try to find the X-wing in this Sudoku. You can pause the video and take as much time as you need. I'll give you a hint. It's a 6's X-wing. I must have found it by now. If you look closely, in row 4 and row 8, there are only two 6's aligned in column 1 and 3. Therefore, we can eliminate the candidate 6's from columns 1 and 3. And also look, we have found a unique candidate. We can continue solving our Sudoku. Now it's your turn. Try to find the X-wing in this Sudoku. You can pause the video and take as much time as you need. I'll give you a hint. It's a Sudoku of 5s.
You must have already found it. If you look in column 3 and column 6, the 5s can only go in 2 positions. In row 3 and row 5, I'm going to mark them
so we can see it a little better.
With that, we can eliminate the rest of the candidate 5s from the rows.
Now you see if you can find the X-wing in this Sudoku. You can pause the video and take as much time as you need.
A hint, it's an X-wing of 1s.
I'm sure you've already found it. If you look in row 1 and row 8, the ones can only go in 2 positions which also coincide. I'm going to mark them to see it a little better. Therefore, we can eliminate the rest of the candidate ones from columns 4 and 5. If you notice, now on the sector, the 1 can only go anti-cell. We can continue solving our Sudoku. Now it's your turn. See if you can find the X-wing and the Sudoku. Remember that you can pause the video and take as much time as you need.
I'll give you a hint. It's a 9 X-wing.
You must have found it already. I'm going to mark it. If you notice, in column 1 and column 6, the 9s can only go in 2 positions, which also coincide. Therefore, we can eliminate the rest of the 9 candidates from these 2 rows. And by eliminating them, if you look at this sector, the 9 can only go here. So we can continue solving our Sudoku. Now it's your turn. Let's see if you can find the X-wing in this Sudoku. Remember, you can pause the video for as long as you need.
I'll give you a hint. It's a Sudoku of 2s.
I'm sure you've already found it. If you look at column 1 and column 6, the 2s can only go in 2 positions that also coincide. I'm going to mark them so it's clearer. With which we can erase the rest of the candidate 2s from these 2 rows, the 7th and the 9th. And voila, look, now in this sector the 2 can only go here. So if we can continue solving our Sudoku. Now it's your turn. See if you can find the 2 X-wings hidden in this Sudoku. Remember, you can pause the video as long as you need. I'll give you a hint. One is an X-wing of 1s and the other of 2s. I'm sure you've already found them, right? If you look at row 1, the 1s can only go in these 2 positions. And in row 8 as well, which also coincide, I'm going to mark it. And as for the 2s, if you look at column 2, they can only go in these 2 positions and they coincide with those in column 9. I will also mark it. With which we can eliminate the rest of the candidate 2s from these 2 rows. And we can also eliminate the rest of the candidate 1s from these 2 columns. If you look now at that sector, the 1 can only go here. So we can continue solving our Sudoku. I'll find it. The simplest way is to look for pairs of candidates or complementary candidates in the different rows and columns. Let's focus now on the number 3 candidates. If you notice, in this row, candidate number 3 can only go in 2 places. We have 2 complementary candidates. Now we need to find another pair of candidates in the same columns. I go down the columns and look. In this row, in row number 7, we also have 2 complementary candidates that also match in the columns. Bingo. We have found the X-wing. What will allow me to eliminate the rest of the candidate trees from the two columns? Now I can continue solving the Sudoku. If you look in this sector, now candidate number 3 can only go in this cell. Now here the 9 has to go, and that way we would continue solving the Sudoku. As you can see, it's a technique that if you know what to look for, which in this case are the complementary candidates in the different rows and columns, is very easy to find and will appear in many Sudokus. Well, I hope you liked the video and see you in the next Sudoku.